This is a video tutorial for Lesson 5.2, Linear Regression. We have 2 key vocabulary words and 2 key objectives. So let's do the vocabulary. We're looking for a phrase that refers to the method by which we can determine a line that best fits a given set of data. And those are some points. And that would be what we call a linear regression. So that's what we're doing with this lesson. We're going to be doing a linear regression, and we're going to look at this quantity that we're going to designate by the letter R that measures the strength and the direction of a linear relationship between 2 variables. And mostly what we're going to find with this lesson are R values that are going to be exactly 1 or -1, which indicate a perfect fit, that something is perfectly linear. They're going to line up in a perfect line. Now, if it's positive, the line will go up if we have a positive correlation. If it's negative, the line will go down. So let's take a look. So that quantity R has a special name. It's called the correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient. So I'm just giving you a second to get those noted down. Now we're going to look at the first thing we're going to look at is just how to do a linear regression. Now, this first example has 2 points. Now, if I have randomly picked 2 points, no matter where I put the 2 points, I'm always going to have a line that goes through them. 2 points are going to be linear. I can pick any 2 other points at random, and there is definitely a line that's going to go through those 2 points. So I don't have to worry about is it linear, because if you only have 2 points, it's automatically linear. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the equation. We're going to use the calculator to find the equation of a line that passes through 6, 1 and 7, -4. So here are the instructions. So we're going to go through that. So I'm going to turn it on, of course, and that's this button. Now, I still have some left over, but don't worry about that. We don't need to get rid of it. We just need to go where we're going. We're going to go to menu number 2. So I'm going to go to menu, and let's take a look at minute. Now, this is the first time we've used menu number 2. It says stat. So we're going to use this menu number 2, and it says stat. So I push execute, and what we get is a list. We have list 1 and list 2. We're going to, and all the way down, but we're going to use list 1 and list 2. What I'm going to do is organize my points, and I'm going to put the X's in list 1 and the Y's in list 2. So let me put these points here. 6, 1. The X is going to go in list 1, and the Y is going to go in list 2. And for the point 7, -4, the 7 is going to go in list 1, and the -4 is going to go in list 2. So I've got it organized. So now that I'm ready to put it in. So I'm going to put in list 1 the 6 and 7. So I'm just going to put 6, enter, 7, enter. Then I'm going to use the arrow and go over to list 2 and put in the Y values. 1, enter, -4, enter. So I have those 2 points. So let's see what I did. I did menu number 2, and that was the stat menu. And what I did was I input the X values into list 1 and the corresponding Y values into list 2. So we've got those in there. Now what I'm going to hit is the one that says calc. This is on the F2 button. On the F2 right above it says calc. So I'm going to push calc, and REG, that's short for regression. So I'm going to do a regression. That appears above the F3 button. calc reg, and then we're going to push the X. And the first one here says AX plus B. And that's like MX plus B. So I'm going to push F1. That was a lot of buttons to push, but you've got your notes here to follow it. Now it gives me a bunch of information, and some of it you don't need at all. What I'm going to use is the A and B. And let's see. We got a good sighting on that. So it says AX plus B. So this is the same thing as MX plus B. So Y equals, now instead of A, they tell me that A is -5. So I'm going to say -5x plus B. And B, it says, is 31. And that's the equation. Right here was where I put the number they said for A, and right here was put the B. You don't notice, you don't copy what's here on the screen. This is what I call the IKEA version. It's all in parts. What you got to do is put it together. And I want you to look here at the R. The R says the R is -1. This R is what we set up here is the correlation coefficient. And so it's a -1, which means it's a perfect fit. It's a perfect line, and the line happens to have a negative negative slope. It's going down. And sure enough, we've got a negative slope here, -5. So anytime you have 2 points, you're going to have a perfect 1 on your R. We're not doing anything with these other bits of it, so don't worry about the R squared or the MSE. We're just worried about really A and B, and we're going to look at R. Shall I continue? We're going to go to part 2. We're going to continue part 2.